Welcome to the final ranking video where I'm actually gonna sit here and talk about every class, every playthrough I had, and how am I ranking them. First things first, this is my opinion and my opinion only. If you are here for really in-depth analysis and damage and everything, I highly suggest Torben's video on classes. It is so good video and so well done. I will throw it on the screen here so you can actually search it and watch it. It's really good video, and if you want just basic stats, you should watch that. Otherwise, this is my opinion and my opinion only. So yeah, let's go. I didn't really prepare a script for this, so I'm just gonna sit here and talk, and I hope you don't mind that. So let's go. I would like to try and rank the classes on different things, like how easy it is to play the class, how is it really good for the new players, and how fun they are, and overall ranking. This will obviously, all of this will be my opinion here, so please, if you don't agree with me, I don't care really. So yeah, you can click off the video. I don't really care. Next thing is, yeah, so maybe we should start talking about it, huh? The four classes in Terraria are melee, range, mage, and summoner, in which order I played them. And first thing I'm gonna say is I don't think they're equally balanced at all. For example, if you play mage, you have only, let's say, two types of weapons, which is one are like magic books and sticks, and you use spells, but the other is just a budget version of range, to be honest, and that is the real problem I found while playing mage, and I'll talk about it later. Right now, I think overall, let's say that the melee is the best class, and that's really the facts. You agree or don't disagree, it's really not that important, since it is a fact that melee is the best class just by weapons number, because melee actually has close to the same amount of weapons as all the three other classes combined, and I know they're trying to fix that and add a new stuff, new weapons for the other classes, like they added some whips and things like that to the summoner. You know, in the new update there will be reworks for the mage staffs, and there will be new summon, and you know, things like that, which is super cool, and I really appreciate it. But right now melee is just like overall best class, really. The thing is how easy it is to play every class. I would put a melee on the first place with obvious reason, because melee has a lot of defense. You can tank whatever you want. If you choose to go full defense, you just really don't take much damage, and you can do whatever you want. Plus you deal a lot of damage, and melee is actually range, because a lot of melee weapons are range weapons. They're just swords that shoot stuff, and that's pretty cool. But I would really like for them to focus on melee and not range melee, since melee is practically range with crazy amount of armor. The second class is probably gonna be range, in my opinion, because range is pretty simple. There is high DPS. You don't have to shoot to aim really, because there is a lot of auto aim here with the chlorophyll bullets and some guns, you know. which is really useful. Plus you have something like bows that shoots your whole screen, which you don't really aim that much. Of course you have to aim, but you know, and it has a decent amount of armor, and it's a pretty cool class, not gonna lie. Okay, so the third class, I know a lot of you are gonna scream, but it's actually Mage, okay? Mage is... While I played Mage, I actually said that, and Mage really feels like a mana version of Ranger, okay? Like, half of the weapons are actually guns, and they just use mana instead of bullets, and it is cool idea, I would say, to have mana, and you can spam things like every other class can. If you get the accessory to automatically use mana potions, you really don't have a mana problem, like never ever again. Yes, you lose a little amount of damage, but since Mage has so much DPS, it's really nothing special, because Mage can just spam a lot of damage and you don't really feel that less damage, if you know what I mean. I would like Mage to be a little more than just a budget ranger, and they are fixing it actually in the new update, what I saw at least, with the new staffs. And it's really cool that they have like bonus effects now and everything. If you didn't see, go watch the videos of other YouTubers that did it. That's really important stuff actually, because it's a new update. And in the fourth place of how hard or easy it is to play the class, it's Summoner. Okay, I know the Summoner was the hardest class, but I think because of the whip stacking, and I really think it's still the hardest class actually, because you still have whips that are not that long range, but you still are super squishy. And yes, of course, you can just run away and let your summons do the job like I did in my playthrough, but overall I think if you want to maximize your playstyle and your damage and everything, you really have to sweat a little, which is why I put the Summoner in the fourth place here, for the how hard it is to play the class. And yeah, this right here is, for this ranking, my rank system, and I hope you agree to some degree at least, so we can get to the next ranking, okay? The next ranking is pretty much, is it good for the new players and how hard it is for them to pick up a class and play the game for the first time. When you play as a new player, I think it's obviously something that everyone will tell you is you have to play melee first, and it's cool and all. I think it's really nice. Of course, if you're a new player, or I don't know, not a new player, you can play whatever you want and do whatever you want. It's the point of the game, really. But I think that melee is the go-to class for the new players, because like I said previously, you have a lot of defense and you can do a lot more things and survive a lot longer with your... If you have a poor dodging skills, you can survive a lot longer than a Summoner, let's say, or Mage, which gives you a lot more time to learn the bosses and enjoy the game more. Plus, you deal a lot of DPS. It's still range or melee, you can even choose. There is a lot subclasses, and the most important thing actually is you have to farm for things, but a lot of melee weapons just pops out, you know, because like I killed this skeleton and oh, I got the skeleton sword, right? But I don't, like, mobs don't drop like mage weapons or summoner weapons that often, as they drop melee or ranged, but mostly melee. So for obvious reasons, melee is the number one here and gets the first title again. the second place in this ranking, I'm actually not sure, because I think the other classes are here and there balanced the same right now, and I would like to say that Ranger is the second place here for the beginners, because they also get a lot of drops from mobs for weapons, and it's pretty basic idea. You have range in every single game, you know, you just have a gun and shoot. They have, I think, the second most amount of armor, which really helps if you're a new player. Also, they have bows and guns, which is two different types of weapons and like subclass which you can choose, and as a new player it can be really cool and fun to choose. Like on Shrumite armor, like you choose a helmet for bow or a gun, and it really brings up something new and cool you can do with a class. You don't have to play the class the same, like let's say Summoner or Mage. Mage is a better actually. Yeah, you just play Mage as, oh, I have armor for Mage and that's all, you know. Like you can choose your subtype of weapons, and I personally like bows more, maybe someone likes guns, and that's the whole point, to do whatever you want, really, I think. Ranger will be second, and the third would be actually a Summoner. I'm switching place with Mage and Summoner here because I really think that Summoner is, if you don't want to maximize your damage and like really try hard, you know, Summoner is easier than Mage in this point of game. And yeah, you can just spam minions, and you know, you can even maybe reforge armor if you want. So it's pretty much just running away and surviving while your minions are fighting. And yes, there are whips, but let's be honest, a lot of times while you play Terraria is without the whips as a summoner, maybe because whip stacking is gone. So I think I would rather use some melee or range weapons, and that's probably the idea with a new player, because they won't just focus on one class. I would say they would focus on a lot more or combine classes, so it should be more fun. And yeah, that's why the Summoner is the third place and the Mage is fourth, because Mage is weird, like really weird class if you ask me. Maybe I have that opinion because I played Mage once and it was in the video and I was so unlucky I couldn't get any weapons, so I think it's nearly impossible to play Mage. But yeah, I think that was just a bad luck, and that's all. Mage is the fourth place, and Mage is, I think, for the new players hardest, because you have to constantly spam your mana potions, and maybe if you don't get the accessory for mana for instantly using mana potions, it's really a problem, because you have to constantly switch between your weapon, mage potion, health potion, and it's a little confusing maybe for the new players. So I would say Mage is the fourth place here. I said I would rank them by how fun the classes are, and this is really independent by the person, you know. Every person has their own thing and everything they like. So for me personally, I would say it's the Summoner, because I really like the idea to summon the things to fight for you. After the Summoner it would be Ranger, and then Melee, then Mage, but actually I think overall it's Melee again, because of course you can, if you play Melee, you can play like 7 other subclasses, and it's pretty cool. Ranger and Summoner are, maybe Summoner is the second, because you have minions, you have turrets, you have whips, like you constantly use 3 different things at once, and it's cool to have a lot more to do than just like spam one gun or one bow or one sword, you know. So I'm not really sure where to put the summoner, I would put the melee and the summoner in the same class, like number 1, because I think each of them has their own perks, you know. Actually, I think Ranger is the third one, because like I said, you can use bows, you can use grenades, you can use guns. Anyway, the whole point is that while you play range, you can choose different playstyles and different subtypes, while in mage you just have budget version of range and spell stuff, which is basically the same, just different type of weapon. I mean, it looks different, it's either staff or a book or something third, but it's just casting spells. They look cool though, but I think that the thing is with other classes that you can do different stuff, different playstyles. This is the same playstyle, it just looks a little more cool, you know. And at the end, it's overall ranking for me. It is melee first, obviously, for obvious reasons. It's just, I think really the game is made for melee. Then in the second place is definitely a ranger, because I think it's really good class and really balanced class actually. Then the summoner, because summoner is really strong and good in so many ways, but I think that since it is the hardest class in the game, I think it should be in the third place. And the fourth place is mage. Of course, this is my opinion, and that's all. If you agree or disagree with me, I would actually like to hear it in the comments why. And obviously, if you disagree, I would like to hear why. And if you have a good reason, I will maybe change my mind, I guess, in some points I made. But yeah, and you know it. Thank you so much for watching this video, for spending your time on this shitty video. And that is all. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.